Hi everybody, this is Dan Obashan and the joy of tennis teaching. Well, today there is no joy in Mudville. Our plan for the day was to go to the Marriott Desert Springs and film some of Scott Cameron working out on the ball machine and do part 2 of our ball machine video. Unfortunately, the weather didn't cooperate. We've got a day that's supposed to rain all day, a very rare thing here in the desert, and of course it happened on our video day. In addition to that, you might have noticed that this is a little bit different place where we're filming, because the Southern California Edison has decided today's the day to do some major maintenance. So the power is out in my home. So we're outside in the doorway where we can have enough light and we're protected from the rain, and just battling through against all the odds. So today what we're going to discuss briefly, and probably come back to this, I hope, in the future if we get some comments on the video, is the idea of tennis teacher burnout. I was speaking last night to my good friend Dave Kensler in San Diego, and he was telling me there was an interesting article on burnout in the Racket Sports Industry magazine, which I was going to try to read before filming this, but I forgot today was the day the power was out, so my reading machine does not operate without electricity. But burnout is a subject that we're very familiar with in the tennis industry. There have been lots of articles over the years, and it's a pretty common problem. Where does burnout come from? I believe burnout comes from making the job too repetitive. And this is why I hope videos like mine and other videos that you can see will spark some creativity and some curiosity to do something different. If you can keep learning, I mean, I'm 66 years old and in a wheelchair and blind, and I'm still trying to read the tennis magazines and talk to friends to get new ideas. So if you can keep learning, that's one of the biggest helps to avoiding burnout. Look at your teaching. I know, I told a friend of mine this once, that there were about 3 or 4 teachers that I started teaching with in Massachusetts, and most of them were ahead of me in the industry, and all of them except me dropped out of the industry after a while. And when I saw them and I asked them, well, why aren't you teaching anymore? And almost all of them said the same thing, that teaching tennis had gotten boring. There's no way tennis teaching can become boring if you're looking at every student as an individual. If you're taking that analogy of the art, the concepts that you're teaching as your paints, and the student as the blank canvas. If you really have gotten to the point where you are dealing with each student as an individual, it's really tough for it to become boring. Boring is when you're saying the same thing to every student and you're teaching systematically. You're teaching rote things instead of really being curious about your student, about that individual, what they need, what will work for them, what concepts you can use to make their tennis game improve. Going back to the question that I asked a few weeks ago about what makes it go for you, Paul Newman talked a little bit like I did about that aha moment, knowing that he helped the student get more enjoyment out of their tennis game. So I encourage all of you, if you really want to experience the joy of tennis teaching, make your lessons interesting. Try to keep learning. Try to keep looking at every student and every lesson as an individual. Watch for falling into ruts. We all do it. We all find things that we think work and we overuse them, and they become repetitious and boring to us and to our students. So that's it from dark, no electricity, cloudy, rainy Indian Wells. This is Dan Aubuchon signing off from the joy of tennis teaching.